So a lot of the work with primates actually tries to explore all these aspects of human cognition that we're in some sense most proud of, things like a theory of mind and so on. But less work is actually focused on some of these processes that are just universal in humans, but are kind of dumb, and in some ways really systematically dumb. So we took up the charge of saying, well, are any of these kind of dumb biases shared with other primates? And we started in the economic domain in part because this is really a spot where humans can be bad. And the fact that we're bad can have really enormous consequences, such as the current financial collapse and so on. But to do this, to sort of study this question, do monkeys share our economic biases, we had a bit of a challenge because, of course, our monkeys don't actually use money yet. So the first task was actually to introduce a new currency to our monkeys. We did this by giving them little metal washers and teaching them that they could trade with human experimenters for food. And the amazing thing was that they actually picked this up really quickly. So the monkeys got really flexible with this. And we just then put them in a market. So they got a little wallet of tokens in the morning, and they got to go into their enclosure, and they had a choice of different experimenters who sold different foods at different prices. And we just said, how do they do, and how do they compare to humans? And what we found was really striking, because in the spots where humans are very rational, where they obey all of the economists' models, the monkeys did the same. So when different goods go on sale, so if apples go on sale today, the monkeys would buy more apples. And they do it in a way that all of the economic math would predict almost perfectly, almost amazingly, even though they had pretty much no experience with a market. The other striking thing was that the monkeys seemed to show exactly the same biases that humans show. And one of the important ones is what's often called loss aversion. Basically, this is the idea that we don't like losing things, and we get more emotional about losing things than we get happy about gaining things. And this can actually lead to a bunch of biases that play out in real markets, like the fact that many people would be better off selling their home at a slight loss than holding on to it while the market kind of careens downward and so on. So our loss aversion plays out in all these ways. We said, are the monkeys loss averse? And the way we looked at this was to present the monkeys with a choice between traders. One trader gave a piece of apple as promised, so he showed the monkey a piece of apple, and then when the monkey paid him, he got that piece of apple. The other experimenter always showed the monkey 2 pieces of apple, but when the monkey paid that experimenter, the experimenter only got 1. And the idea was, does the monkey take into account what they think they're going to get, or do they just care, as they probably should, in what they get overall? And what we found is that the monkeys reliably avoid the guy that gives them less than what they expect. It seems like they too might be averse to losses, averse to these situations that seem like they're losing out, even though it doesn't actually affect how much food they're getting overall. The cool thing about all of this is it suggests that many of these biases that play out in the financial crisis might actually be shared with capuchin monkeys, which means they might actually be 35 million years old.